Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
Hit it.
Welcome back to the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. We are back with the standard crew, myself, T-Gods, Matt, and Q. Matt is still going to be in and out a bit, so bear with us. But hopefully by next week, Matt will have a fresh new setup and be looking crispy as ever. For today's episode, we'll be breaking into the NFC North, detouring back to the NFC as a whole and finishing it out. And then we will focus on the AFC leading up to our positional rankings episodes in August. So we got a lot of content still coming for you guys. But today we're going to focus on the Lions and the Packers. So let's get into it with the Detroit Lions. Might be a little bit of a bore, but I actually think they have some interesting players. So let's start.
Honestly, I think they have more interesting players than the Packers.
They really might, actually.
You may not be wrong there, Q.
Thanks.
You're
Man,
welcome.
how do you talk
for the
without
first
moving your
time
lips?
Forever. Huh?
What?
I'm a ventriloquist. I told you this. I do this.
All right. First question. Jared Goff got some help this season by getting some weapons added to his squad. Does he have any sneaky low-end QB1 value, or is he just going to be on waivers all season?
Waivers all season.
I look at him as like a dollar store Joe Burrow, just because he has a lot of weapons around him, but definitely waivers. I could see him being on an episode of Trust or Bust here and there, just because he may have like a span of 2 games where he drops like 25, but I couldn't see myself eyeing to target him in a draft or something.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be bad, but I just think there's way better people you can have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's just way more upside out there over Jared Goff. Like Jared Goff's upside, his ceiling is like QB 12. Like that's the peak, and that's what you're hoping to get if you're taking him. So I think at best he's just a bye week fill-in.
Would you rather have him or Mac Jones?
Oh,
And
Goff easily.
That's close.
What?
Both
Mac
in the
Jones
same
sucks.
booty tier.
But Mac has no one to throw the ball to, and he can't
they
even
don't
throw
even
the ball.
use the receivers.
Right. They don't even use the quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd probably lean Goff but I think both have very minimal upside.
Goff or Wentz.
Wentz.
I feel like I'd go Goff.
Goff
I'd go win.
or
I'd go
Trevor
Wentz.
Lawrence?
Goff.
Trevor
Goff.
Lawrence.
Jesus.
I think I'm going Goff.
I'm going Goff.
Yeah.
You guys are high on Goff. I got Goff pretty low in my rankings.
Yeah,
I'm
what? He's
just not
decent. I
excited.
would take him like one of the last rounds of the draft if I only have one.
Yeah.
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 All right, last one. Goff or Matt Ryan?
Matt
Goff.
Ryan, probably.
I think I'm taking Matt Ryan.
I just like Goff's weapons more than Matt Ryan.
Me
I like
too.
Goff's weapons too, but I don't like Goff.
I don't like Goff. I'm just thinking about what's around him compared
Goff had Kupp and Woods and was barely a
Yeah.
startable quarterback. So I don't think the Lions offense is necessarily going to be high powered, but I think he's probably going to finish somewhere in between 15 to 18. He's just not sexy, like not much upside.
He's a pretty handsome young man.
All right, whatever.
All right, can I do one more? One more?
Yeah.
Goff or Tua?
Tua, easy.
So,
Easy?
Sure.
Upside.
Okay.
I'm taking the upside. If I'm drafting right now, like if I'm betting on who would finish higher, it's a little bit different. But if I'm drafting, I'm taking Tua because his weapons are upgraded and he just has more upside.
They had the same points per game last year. That's why I ask.
Yeah, that makes sense. The Lions did add 2 wide receivers this offseason, DJ Chark being the first as a free agent on a 1-year deal. Does he overtake this team as the wide receiver 1, or does he fall into a wide receiver 2 role behind St. Brown? And is he someone you're targeting this year at all?
Wide receiver 2.
Yeah,
Can
definitely.
we all agree on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree on that. I do think there's going to be some games where he's probably going to outperform St. Brown here or there, just probably like 3 times throughout the season randomly. People are going to get overhyped about it. But I do think he's going to be more of the wide receiver 2 on this offense.
Let him
I
get
am
his shine.
targeting him though late.
Let him get his shine early before Williams comes back.
Yeah.
Tyrell Williams.
Jameson, the
Yeah.
rookie.
Yeah. If Jameson Williams is back, it's going to be tough. I don't know if he's going to make that much of an impact this year. I'd probably be more excited about him next year. But yeah, Chark at his current price is essentially going for free. So I like him late in drafts as someone to just throw on your bench. Jameson Williams as Q just mentioned, was the second wide receiver added to the Lions. He was a first-round pick this year, and he's slotted to be the wide receiver 3 there right now. Obviously, could overtake Chark, as we just mentioned. Does he have any value this season at all, knowing he may not be ready for week 1?
If the lines are competitive, maybe. But if they're not good, then I can't see them rushing him back. Isn't he supposed to be like the best out of all of the rookie receivers? Maybe Olave.
He was up there with like obviously where he was drafted. He kind of shot up draft boards like closer to the draft, like people were waking up on him. But obviously the injury also hurt his case for being drafted higher too. So yeah, he's one of the best in this field for sure. So I think when he does get on the field, I think he is going to make an impact, but I just don't know when that's going to be. So in terms of drafts,
redraft,
touching him.
Yeah, no value.
Obviously in Dynasty, someone who's most likely already owned somewhere. All right, let's do some cap or no cap for the Lions. First one here, Amon-Ra St. Brown's being underdrafted at his current ADP of wide receiver 27, 66th overall. Cap or no cap?
No cap. Underdrafted AF.
I think he's being properly drafted.
No.
Unless like he is going to play as he did at the end of last season, then I can see him being a top 20 receiver and being drafted that way, but we don't know, obviously. But yeah, I think properly drafted at the moment, just because the guys ahead of him are guys that I know will produce in that 20 to 27 range.
Yeah. I think that end of the season streak obviously has built up the hype for St. Brown like crazy. I would say he's being drafted properly as well. I have him at 27 in my ranks. I do think he has upside to push into like the wide receiver 2 territory, but I think he's a really high upside flex right now. I want to see it again before I believe it. With last year, Hockenson wasn't there. The 2 wide receivers they added weren't there. He was essentially the only valuable target on the field for 6 games. And obviously he performs above what you would expect in general, but I just want to see it again.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
Just baking in the risk a little bit.
I actually have him at 28 right now, so just outside 27.
Yeah, we're in like the same spot, Q. Cap or no cap, DeAndre Swift finishes as a top 8 running back this season.
Cap.
Yeah.
Sean, I'm sorry. It's cap.
Sorry, Sean.
Go
I
ahead,
have him
Sean.
at 7 right now.
Yeah, no cap.
Why,
No.
though? What did he finish last year? Like 9 or something?
He finished 15, but he also missed 4 games.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
He played the first what, like 12 weeks or something like that?
Yeah. And at that time, he was about a top 5 running back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying at that time, too, Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, CMC, and James Conner were all under him.
Yeah.
I'm
No, I agree. I mean, there's definitely some risk. I have him at 7 as well, Q, in my ranks. I do think there's some upside here for Swift just in this offense. I think the passing offense is going to be a little bit better, which means he's going to get some more targets as well. He's not going to be as much of a focal point when they're throwing the ball for defenses. And I think Swift also obviously can improve in his 3rd season. So I'm hopeful that he can break into that top 10 this year, top 8, because injuries the last 2 years, missed 4 games or missed 3 games in his rookie year and missed 4 last year. So want to see him stay healthy for a full season and see where he ends up.
I remember top 8. I had an agenda last year when there was like a report of him being involved with some shooting, and I was trying to purposely stress you out about that.
Yeah, you were stressing me out, even though I was like, dude, it was fake.
Billy Bull.
Yeah. Love me some Swift this year. Draft him. Last cap or no cap here. TJ Hockenson takes a step back with all of the weapons added and finishes outside the top 8 tight ends.
Cap. I do think, I mean, he may take a step back, but like outside the top 4, like he could easily be number 5 or not outside the top 10. I still think he's good enough to be ahead of some of the other guys.
Yeah. I would say he's probably going to finish inside the top 8. So I would say cap also. But I do have him closer to 8 than closer to the top 5 there.
Yeah, I agree. I just think Goff is going to rely heavily on him. So he's obviously going to get his. And I don't know how much I trust the receivers with Goff. And that safety blanket's always going to be there with Hockenson.
Yeah, I do think he's going to be a big part of this offense still. A little bit nervous, obviously, with more weapons added. He was a volume king when they had no wide receivers. So I think that hurts him a little bit. That's the only thing that makes me nervous, but I still think he's going to be involved in this offense. He has to be a focal point if they want to win some football
He's
games.
going to be the red zone target too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's do some bold takes. Matt, or favorite targets. Matt, start us off.
We were just talking about him. My favorite target on this team is TJ Hawkinson. Like I said, he's going to be the Jared Goff's go-to guy, especially in the red zone. I don't really think the addition of all the other receivers hurts him too much. Obviously, he might take a little step back in production because, like Sean said, the volume just won't be there. But I still think TJ Hawkinson has all the upside in the world. And if Swift can stay healthy, that'll definitely help out as well because it'll allow the receivers to get more open. And I just think his volume's still going to be there. Maybe not as much, but he'll do with what he can with it.
Yeah, I like Hawkinson as well as a solid tight end target. I don't know what his current ADP is. I wonder if you would target him where he's currently being drafted.
Probably like 7.
He's currently being drafted tight end 6, 65th overall.
I'd take him tight end 6.
I think that's a fair spot. It's a little rich for me, but I like it. All right. Q, what do you got?
Some of the target is Jamal Williams. Even though I think Swift can finish top 8 running back, he does have a little history of injury. And we saw last year he did play almost 50% of the snaps with Swift in, and just the same with him out. And then in 13 games, he had double-digit touches in 11 of them. So he is going to be involved. And I guess you're kind of banking on Swift having some sort of injury. But I did say this is going to be the healthiest season for all the NFL players. So probably no injury. Jamal Williams is the top 5 cuff and another guy that I'm looking to steal from a Swift owner. So Jamal Williams, could have some sneaky value.
And cuff
You're a
snatcher,
scumbag this year.
Yeah, he's a
Big time
scheme.
What is wrong with you? Who hurt you?
Q's going to be sitting there at the draft just rubbing his hands together, waiting for someone's cuff to fall.
waiting for round 8. And he's like,
I'm waiting for round 2. I can't wait for all
Okay.
the running backs to fly off the board. I'm coming for all the cuffs. Pollard, Kareem Hunt, first 2 picks.
That's any reach.
They'll be
Please
begging
don't
for
do
it.
that. All right, T-Gods, what do you got for us?
So my bold take will be that Mr. St. Brown finishes inside the top 15. I know you guys were just hating. I understand that he was like being force-fed last year during those last like 6 or 7 games. But like from weeks 12 to 18, he was wide receiver 2 in the entire league. And he was averaging 22.5 fantasy points per game. Like, that's absurd.
Oh, yeah.
Like
He was eating. He was
He had-
munching.
34 total. What, Matt?
I said he was. He was munching.
He was. 34 more fantasy points than Jamar Chase in that span. And everybody's talking about him, how he's crazy. He's so good. Amon-Ra St. Brown literally did better. I understand they added a lot of people, but like you saw what he could do. Like his potential is crazy. Like he could be super good. Like he could lead that team like to many wins. And if you're getting him at wide receiver 27, what? It's a
I like it.
steal.
Oh, yeah.
I like
It's
it.
like this year's Cooper Cup.
Ooh,
Going
okay.
late last year, boom, wins everybody their leagues.
Skyrocketed.
Are you calling him this year's Cooper Cup? It
I'll
wouldn't
do
be
it. I'll lock
far
it in
off.
right now.
Oh my God. From rookie to GOAT.
He's going to
Yeah.
make Jared Goff relevant.
All right. I'm ready to see it. Bold takes for a reason. I'm going to hop on the bold train. I know we were just downplaying DeAndre Swift a little bit as well, but I'm saying he's finishing as a top 5 running back.
God.
Biased.
Maybe a little bit of bias, but I love me a pass catching running back. Like I said, I think this offense as a whole is going to be a little bit better. I do think he's probably going to improve as well. Running the ball, Jamal Williams helps a little bit just because he can offset some of that workload. He doesn't need 25 carries a game to be that fantasy asset that you need. DeAndre Swift, as long as he's getting involved in the passing game and getting 10 to 12 carries a game, he's going to put up fantasy numbers. And I think that's going to happen this year. Lock him in. He's breaking into the top 5. He is my Joe Mixon for this season.
You know, when Sean said maybe a little bit of bias, it's absolute insane bias.
Yeah.
All
it's
biased.
so based on bias.
Sean's drafting Mixon then Swift.
Oh my God, I would be so happy.
And Kyler.
And Kyler Murray and Zach Ertz or Goddard. I don't know whose favorite tight end is.
Tight end? I don't know if I have a favorite tight end.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
all over
Hawk.
the
It is
place.
Hawk.
It's not Hawk. If it was
It's
Hawk,
Hawk.
I would have just piked him right now. I was downplaying Hawk. I don't know who my favorite tight end target is for this year yet. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But let's move on to the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, the Packers traded away the best wide receiver in the NFL this offseason to the Raiders.
They didn't trade
Absolutely.
DeAndre Hopkins.
All right, come on now. Devontae Adams has been elite, and you know it.
I was trying to think of a receiver to say, but he beat me to that. I say Mike Williams wasn't on the Packers.
Mike Williams.
Ew.
That's gross.
But does Devontae Adams' departure affect your ranking for Aaron Rodgers this season? Is he still a top 10 quarterback target for you?
Still top 10.
Oh, yeah.
Not top 5. Aaron Rodgers would have been top 3 quarterbacks off the board if he still had Devontae Adams. But without that, that was his guy for years. And now he has to rely on
Sammy
Robert Tonyan and Sammy Watkins.
I hate Sammy Watkins with everything I have.
Somehow he'll still finish top 10. I don't know how he's going to do it, but he will.
Top 10?
Top 10.
Oh, Rodgers?
Yeah, Rodgers.
I thought you were
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
Sammy
yeah.
Watkins.
Oh,
I was
ew.
literally like,
Yeah,
No
somehow
shot.
Sammy Watkins.
Sammy Watkins, top
It's like
10?
Week 1. Hopefully the
plus
season ends up
10,000.
Yeah, week 1. That's a fact. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, I actually have him at 11 right now, but I think he's right in that same tier. I think it's a tier of guys that I like to take in that same range. Obviously, the weapons just scare me a little bit, but he's Aaron Rodgers. He's obviously still going to have his games where he's going to go crazy. It doesn't matter who's catching the ball.
Do you have Dak over Aaron Rodgers?
I do not. Told you I have Dak at 12 in that episode.
You hate Dak.
I have Russell Wilson over both. I'm in on the Broncos.
I
Yeah.
don't hate it.
I
also
hate it.
have Stafford as well. Staph infection. All right. Next question here. The Packers also had one of the best fantasy running back duos last year with Aaron Jones finishing at number 10 and A.J. Dillon finishing at 23. There are also rumors that this could be a 50-50 timeshare. So who do you prefer at their current cost? Aaron Jones's ADP is currently running back 12, 21st overall, so second round. A.J. Dillon, RB25, 59th overall, like round 5 or 6, whatever that is.
100% A.J. Dillon.
I
1
still think I'm
million.
going. I think I'm still going Aaron Jones. I think he benefits huge. There's so much benefit from Devontae Adams leaving, and he did kind of I forget what the word is, but like fade a little bit after that 6 touchdown game or whatever it was earlier in the season. But he still finished top 10, and we've seen him get fed in the past. I think Aaron Jones is still the guy. And I tried to make it all about A.J. Dillon last year, but I was a little early. I still think it's Aaron fucking Dillon. Aaron Jones time.
Aaron Dillon.
This one's tough for me. I like both at their current cost. Like, I think Aaron Jones is still going to be number 1 on this team just to at least start the season. Like, I still think he's going to be the guy that going to get the ball. Obviously, with his current contract as well, I think he's making $12 million a year or something like that. They want to make sure that he's one of their higher assets, that he's being used and involved. But I do think A.J. Dillon is also super talented right behind him. So A.J. Dillon's a little bit cheaper, might be able to overtake him, but I think they're still going to give Aaron Jones a bit of that healthier workload to start the season. I like both. If I'm honestly drafting, I want both on my team 100%. I'd rather have the handcuff there for sure, and maybe even start both, like those rare cases where you can start 2 running backs on one team.
That's juicy.
If I had to choose, I guess A.J. Dillon, just because that price is super cheap and he's going to be involved. Like, there's no doubt about it. So
I think I have them both in Dynasty. I think there were a couple of weeks last year where I started them both and they both scored.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Yeah, they're both. They could be like maybe a little bit worse version of that Saints team we saw a couple years ago, Ingram and Kamara.
Yeah. So that's a good comparison.
Last question here before some cap or no cap. Robert Tonyan, Matt's favorite tight end in the world, went down.
Before Dawson Knox was born.
Yeah.
He went down in week 8 of last season, but we did see him finish as tight end 4 in 2020, and he did thrive a little bit while Adams was out a couple of those games in 2020 as well. Can we see him as the lead red zone target and a top 12 tight end again this season, or are his days as a relevant tight end over?
Over.
I think he's another guy that'll benefit from Adams being gone. And I just, like I said, I put him in the tier of with Dawson Knox where they can sneak into the top 10 just because they'll have some high usage. I trust Rob Tunyon more than Matt May.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I thought you were about to say more than Dawson Knox. I would have jumped.
Oh,
in
no,
the
not more than Dawson.
I understand that Devontae Adams was there last year, but those first 8 weeks, Bob Tunyon had a total of 50 fantasy points, 6.3 a game, and he finished as tight end 22 during those 8 weeks. So at week 8, he was tight end 22. He's
turned it
not
on
getting
late
to
the
the
year
top
before.
8.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just the touchdowns.
He was a touchdown machine in 2020, and he was obviously not being targeted as heavily in the red zone last season. I don't know if he can repeat his top 12 tight end again. I think I have him at like right outside that at 13. I think he could be the lead red zone target on this team just because there's really not that many options. And we've seen him catch a lot of touchdowns in a season before from Aaron Rodgers, whereas all these other guys we have not seen catch a lot of touchdowns in a season before from Aaron Rodgers. So he's the only one with a little bit of a proven track record. But I'm a little bit still nervous just because we saw how, as T God just mentioned, poor he performed last year, even when healthy.
Yeah.
I think
He's just being hopeful.
I think he's worth a late round target that has some upside, but there's obviously risk involved as well. If you're going for 2 tight ends late in the draft, he's one to just grab, throw with another guy and see which guy ends up working out better. Let's do some cap or no cap for the Packers. First one here, Sammy Watkins finishes as a top 40 wide receiver and has a career revitalization in Green Bay.
Is top 40 like a career revitalization?
Yes, he has
Sammy.
not been top 40 since 2017, I think. And he was like 36 that year.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't even have him in my top 40.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have him anywhere near my top 40.
Yeah, no
I guess-
shot. I hate
Then
Sammy
no
Watkins.
cap.
He's
Yeah,
washed.
I'm going to say cap.
Or cap.
Beyond washed.
Yeah, I think his days of relevancy are past for sure.
Except for week 1.
Yeah, maybe week 1. Maybe you have him on your roster after the draft and like the last round, start him week 1 in your flex and go from there. I wouldn't even risk that though. That's too risky.
Imagine being that bold week 1.
Yeah, that's like
Darn
maybe like a
Sammy.
DraftKings play or something. Alan Lazard fails as the projected wide receiver 1 on this offense and finishes outside the top 50 wide receivers, cap or no cap.
Another no cap.
I think it's cap.
Outside the top 50?
I might have more faith in Sammy Watkins.
No, why would you say that? Why do you hate him?
Good when he's healthy. He was dealing with like some injuries.
Yeah,
last
but
year.
he's always hurt.
Well, if he can stay healthy, he's going to be the clear number 1 on that team. And any number 1 on Aaron Rodgers, like offense, is not finishing outside the top 50.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm torn on this one. I'm going to say no cap. I'm going to say cap just because I don't know if he's going to succeed really as the number 1 on this team, but I also don't think he's going to be like that great as the number 1 on this team. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to find another go-to guy somewhere on this roster. He's just not that great. I don't know. He gives me weird vibes. 15 games last year. I mean, he was all right.
Looks like
he was
kind of.
He was top 50 last year, so there is that. But that was his best season of all time with 15 games, 500
All
yards.
time.
Yeah. Well, in 4 seasons. So
That's why he's the GOAT.
we shall see what Lazard can do. Last cap or no cap, rookie wide receiver Christian Watson takes over as Aaron Rodgers' go-to guy, leads the team in targets, and finishes as a top 40 wide receiver.
That's a lot to do right there.
Cap.
I'm going to say cap.
I'm going to say cap as well.
Cap.
Yeah. I do think he has a chance to do that, but I'm saying cap.
The
It's a
leash
little
is
too
so
early to
short
take
with
that.
Aaron Rodgers where like he'll have, if he gets 2 drops in a game, he'll say, please cut him.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah. I would say the majority of Green Bay wide receivers are going to be in a tier where you're taking them as like your wide receiver 5 and just hoping that like he's the one that Aaron Rodgers starts saying, all right, this is my guy, and just starts dumping it to.
Yeah,
If there's one I'm going to trust, his name is Randall Cobb.
that is true.
I don't know if I'm trusting Randall Cobb.
I
Aaron
would.
Rodgers asked for him back and then just didn't use him anyways.
All right.
He was
yeah,
saving
no.
him for this year.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
He knew Adams Jones was gonna leave at some point.
Randall Cobb's like 31.
Run back.
I think he's too washed to be washed.
No,
like
he'll be
to
fine.
be
31?
relevant.
That's pretty young.
It's old in wide receiver years.
True.
The only relevant wide receiver 31 or older right now is Adam Thielen.
AJ
Julio
Green.
Jones.
AJ Green,
Des
yikes.
Bryant.
Larry.
Not relevant. All right, let's do some bold takes. Favorite targets. Q, start us off. What do you got?
So I think this running back duo is so great that Aaron Jones will have another top 10 finish, and that AJ Dillon will come right behind him and finish inside the top 20. I think they'll be used heavily with these very underwhelming wide receivers that they have on the team. So even though Aaron Rodgers is so great and that he's going to be throwing the ball, these running backs will definitely be used a lot more. And the defense is very good on the Packers, so they may not see themselves down a lot. And either way, both these running backs can do passing or catching and running well. So great running backs.
Yeah, definitely possible for sure. I like both this year. All in. T-Gods, what do you got?
AJ Dillon has more total touchdowns than Aaron Jones, and I truly believe that. I don't think that's even bold. AJ Dillon already had more rushes and rush yards than Aaron Jones last year. Not sure if you guys knew that. And he also had more. He had more rushes inside the 5. AJ Dillon had 10 rushes inside the 5. Aaron Jones only had 6. So I mean, maybe like PPR, sure, the argument is a little bit more like competitive, but I think AJ Dillon. I think he takes over here. I think this is maybe not in the receiving game, of course, but like AJ Dillon is going to finish very close, if not over Aaron Jones. I just changed my take, but I don't even hate it.
If AJ Dillon can catch the ball, he's going to be like what Saquon's supposed to be.
Yeah, AJ Dillon is. I think he's very good. Matt, you're going to piggyback right off this take also.
Yes, sir.
Finalize what T-Gods was saying.
That AJ Dillon will finish over Aaron Jones 110%. Even though Aaron Jones had those crazy games last year, there were also games where he was damn near irrelevant, having like 4 to 8 points, and I know that was hurting Q's heart.
No, it wasn't.
My heart.
Yeah.
I traded Jonathan Taylor for him.
Right. My fault.
I got the 6 touchdowns out of him.
But I mean, AJ Dillon can do everything that Aaron Jones can do. So far, he seems more, I don't know what to call it, less injury prone, I guess. So, I mean, given like Q was saying, the wide receiver core on this team right now, they're going to rely heavily on the running backs. And I think that just gives AJ Dillon even more of a chance to overtake that number 1 role.
I like the boldness from all of you in these takes. I think both are going to be valuable. And I do think AJ Dillon's going to be more of the running back traditional, and Aaron Jones can be more the pass catching back. So we'll see how it shakes out. Draft both. I'll wrap it up here. My bold take, a guy most people probably don't know, but a wide receiver, Amari Rodgers, sleeping on this roster, finishes as a top 35 wide receiver. There may be a hint of bias in this take as well, like all of my takes, simply because
Literally every single one.
simply because I have him on my dynasty team. But he was drafted in the 3rd round of last draft, and second-year wide receivers tend to get overlooked for the rookies that following season, but sometimes they are able to make a role for themselves. Amari Rodgers has been pretty much used all over the field in training camp thus far. I do think he has a chance to break into this and actually maybe play that Randall Cobb-esque role over washed Randall Cobb. I like.
Hey, you don't say that.
I'm saying it right now because I like Amari Rodgers. He can catch out of the backfield if he needs to. He can be kind of moved all over the formation. Bit of a smaller wide receiver. I think he could become a reliable target for Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, reliable.
Got to go Rodgers to Rodgers. It's got to become a thing. It's going to happen. So wait on it.
All right.
All right. Let's do some trivia, Q. If anyone has any questions that's here watching live, feel free to drop them in the chat and we will answer them after we wrap up with trivia. Also, feel free to play along with trivia. Q, start us off. What do we got?
Matt, are you ready? It looks like you were fumbling around.
I'm ready.
So, fun fact, first of all, Aaron Rodgers has been in the league since 2002, but hasn't played since until 2009, I guess. But based on that, well, not really based on that, Aaron Rodgers has never only has 2 seasons where he finished outside the top 10 for a point each. Can you name the 2 years that the 2 years that he did not finish inside the top 10? And your hint is it's after 2010. So from 2010 11 to now, there were 2 seasons where he didn't finish top 10 for a point each. What were those 2 years?
Guessing.
Yeah, this is a guess. I mean, it's both times when he like broke his shoulder or whatever. I feel like was when he got hurt.
How are you that good? He never finished outside the top 10.
He's elite.
He's only finished outside the top 5 like 3 or 4 times. And that's a long span.
All right, I got 2 years.
Same.
I went with.
Okay.
I'll say it after.
The 2 years are 2013 and 2017.
I got 2013.
I got neither.
Wow. I would have thought at least 2017 would be the easier one.
I went with the same answers from the D-Hop trivia question like 3 weeks ago. 2012 and 2016. Or actually, I think D-Hop was 2013, 2016. I should have went with
I
that.
went 2011, 2016.
T Gods is on a hot trivia streak. Maybe it's just me that's
Damn it.
recognizing it, but
You guys are cheating.
I
All
got
right.
none, Matt. How am I cheating? I got both wrong.
Not you, sucker. Q and T gods, they're colluding.
yeah.
Yeah, he messaged
right,
me on Discord.
Next question. So in 2020, DeAndre Swift finished a top 20 running back. So the last time the Lions had a top 10 or 20 running back was in 2013. Can you name? There were 2 running backs that finished inside the top 20 for the Lions in 2013. That's the last time they had a top 20 running back. Can you name the 2 running backs that they were? One of the running backs actually finished top 15 the next year too. So 2 of them in 2013. One of them finished top 15 again the next year. But
So
maybe
they
that'll
finished.
help.
2 running backs in 2013, the same year, finished top 20.
top 15. But one of those running backs again the next year finished.
So they had 2
Top
top
15.
15 running backs.
Yeah, in 2013.
I'm gonna
That's
go
the
with
last
both
time
of
they
these
had
guys.
someone that good.
I don't feel confident about it because I thought these guys sucked. But I'm just gonna write them. That's all I can remember who played around that time.
One of them is like a gross name, but everyone knows who he is.
Why can't I think of another one? I think I have one.
I hope Dave knows. Oh,
I'm not looking in the chat. I need a scheme. I already wrote my answers. I'm locked in.
Vince, if you're listening, I'm not even gonna repeat it.
I looked at the chat, but I already wrote my answer, so I'm not changing. Shit. I know I got one wrong already.
I can't think of another name. I might just roll with the one. I feel
Just
like
write another one.
Write anything.
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 Someone in the
Oh,
chat.
God.
All right.
Matt?
You told me to write anything.
You got an answer?
I got 2 answers.
All
I
right,
want to
good.
know what Matt wrote. All right, Q. Who are they?
So it was Reggie Bush,
I got that
That's
one.
Joik Bell.
I got that one.
Joik Bell, who finished both years top 15. That was the one.
What's
Who
his
did I
name?
put?
What's his first
Joik.
name?
Joik.
Joik?
Joique.
I don't remember that person.
Vince, that was a good
existing.
guess.
I put Joik Bell and I put Michael LaShore.
Oh, that was the year before. I was like, who the fuck? That was the year before.
20. Fuck.
All
Joik
right.
Bell, baby.
I said Javid Best and Barry Sanders.
Javid Best.
David Best. I thought him too, but I was like, I feel like that was
Barry
like
Sanders.
a year or 2 before.
In 2013.
You told me to
Barry
write any.
Sanders.
All right. This question, you have to go as far back in
Thank
2020 or 19, whatever it was. Bob Tunyon finished a top 10, top 5 tight end. Who was the last top 10 tight end for top 12 tight end for the Packers? The last top 12 tight end for the Packers. I can give you the year if you want.
Just give me the range, or like
was
a range of years.
He was number 12.
A range of years.
Oh, from now till 2018.
Okay, so it was recent.
Oh, that changes everything.
What was Bull's name?
I got it, I think.
Can I just write his last name?
I do like Chris Ivory, Vince.
All right. I think this is it, but I don't know when that was.
I actually completely forgot that he was on this. I'm not even gonna say that. But I'm not paying attention to Packers tight ends.
I think you just locked in that I'm correct.
I
Hold on, I'm
Half
changing my
statement.
answer. All right.
Matt, you got your answer?
Got it.
I want to know Matt's answer. It's Jimmy Grandpa.
Yeah, baby.
God, I'm an idiot, dude.
Who'd you put?
The Richard Rodgers.
He was the next last top 10 or top 11 tight end, and I was gonna put who the last two, but that's very far back. That's basically all I had. The last question I had was it was doing me too easy, so I didn't even include it.
What is it?
Since the Super Bowl era, who's the only team to never go to the Super Bowl?
Lions?
Lions.
Can I get a point for that?
No.
Because you said
I got
Javid.
zero.
You said Barry Sanders.
I should get a point for that.
I got Jimmy Graham and Joyke Bell. That's all I got. Any
Okay,
questions
Wasn't one of
in
them.
the chat?
Was Chris Ivory on the Lions?
Nah, he was just on the Jets. I
Why
feel like,
Vince bring up Chris
he looked-
Ivory?
I think that was just his guess. He didn't even know the question, and he got Joyke Bell.
Bro, that's so funny because I literally wrote Chris Ivory. I don't even know if he played for them.
He's like,
No,
he looks like
that's good.
Joyke Bell,
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just knew.
husky running back with dreads.
No, he did not play for the
Was he even in
Lions.
the
He
league?
played for the Saints in 2010, 2011, 2012.
He's old.
And then the Jets for 3 years, Jags 2 years, Bills his final year.
Oh my God, I forgot about it. He was like relevant on the Jags. Tried to be
Yeah, he
because
was.
Fourney was hurt or something.
Zero
happened to
running
Isaiah
back
Crowell?
strategy. Good question, Vince. Isaiah Crowell, I don't want instead of
Mike
talking
Martin.
about dead running backs. Actually, I guess this kind of is relevant. Zero running back strategy. What are your thoughts on trying to do it in drafts?
I hate it.
I'm considering it, but it also depends on where you are. But running the wide receivers, like K Harp said before, wide receivers rule the world. We're just living in it.
Yeah, he did say that, and he was the guy. I don't remember when that was, but he drafted
Like 2 years ago.
rookie running backs
Um,
and wide receivers, elite wide receivers.
He also
can work
couldn't.
out.
He couldn't
but-
have drafted better rookie running backs though.
Yeah, you have to hit on your
Who else?
late
JT
round
Gibson.
running backs.
So who would your RB1 be? Like Josh Jacobs?
See, I don't like that. I just don't want to
That's-
hear the running back that I'm
Monty?
going to have.
I like
Miles
Monty.
Sanders.
I would take Monty.
If Monty is my RB1,
I
I'd be all
had
right.
like two stud wide receivers.
Yeah.
Antonio Gibson, maybe?
I would take that.
Like
Oh my God,
zero
if you could
RB
get
theory is almost like wait till like round 6 for
See,
running
that's when I
backs.
would try and steal a cuff though, because then I'd have like Kareem Hunt and Monty or something.
Or you could
Yeah.
somehow end up with Zeke with like in the
Oh
third.
yeah,
I mean, you could make it work. Like number one, even if you go no running backs for the first 4 or 5 rounds, you grab 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a quarterback. Like those guys that are later available, you could hit on Kenneth Walker on the Seahawks. Maybe he goes off, or Rashad Penny, either one.
yeah.
Even maybe AJ Dillon in the 5th. You could also grab, who could also take over, like we've been talking about in this episode. Cordell Patterson's going pretty late as well.
Like, what if you had like Justin Jefferson and Debo? I don't know who would fall around the next round. Then who cares who your running backs are?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a viable strategy. It's just a risky one that I tend to avoid because I have tried it a couple times. And both times I feel like I've fallen flat on my face. So,
You're gonna end up with Javid Best and Chris Ivory.
yeah.
And Amari Rogers as your starting wide receiver.
Right. Yeah. It's going to be an ugly roster if you do try to.
I
change
think
things
it
up
also
like that.
depends where your pick is.
What if
Yeah.
you're one?
I feel like one.
Maybe 12th pick. I would.
I think I would go wide receiver, and then running back on the come.
That's what I've done.
Yeah.
And I feel like I failed most times when I've tried to do that years ago.
But if you
But-
have one, like you have to take the best running back. I feel.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah. Like Jonathan Taylor just feels so safe.
So safe.
But so is Cooper Kupp. Like, you can't go wrong. Like, I'm not gonna look at you sideways if you take Cooper Kupp number 1 overall. But I'd go Jonathan Taylor personally.
Yeah, but you can get a receiver closer to Kupp in the second than you can to Jonathan Taylor in the
Back to
second.
Taylor. Yeah, I would agree with that too. Yeah, I think I'd consider zero RB theory if I'm in like the bottom 3 picks of a 12-team legit league, like 10 through 12. That's when it's like, all right, maybe I switch it up. That's when all the hot wide receivers are sitting there, and it's like, do I pair Justin Jefferson? Maybe he falls to 10 and Jamar Chase, and then on the turnaround.
Imagine
like
Chase and Jefferson.
Obviously, they may be gone at that point too.
Bro, you really could get Zeke again in the third, like with those 2 picks that you just said, and it comes back around. Like you
can get in the third in our league.
Yeah,
it depends where, obviously, on your league and where players are going. But Zeke's current ADP is 30th overall, so that's mid third. So
all right, that's what I'm aiming for.
But
I'm all Zeke this year.
Probably gone at that point. Be more likely looking at Antonio Gibson, Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins, ETN.
Saquon. Bank on Saquon.
Saquon's actually going earlier than Zeke this year. His
As much
ADP
as I've
is
been-
RB14.
What?
Q's piping him up, and
But
he's flying up the ADP.
that's
Everyone's
crazy.
listening to Q.
Everybody's listening.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. We will get into more of the running back talk in our running back episode in August. So the NFC, so that's a wrap for the first half of the NFC North. We still have the Bears and the Vikings on Thursday, so stay tuned for that.
I don't want to do that one.
Well, we have to. The Vikings, I want to talk about Justin Jefferson.
And Kirk.
That's my guy.
We're not talking about Kirk.
Let's just
Q
dedicate the
is
episode to
dying
Kirk Cousins.
Talk about Kirk Cousins for some reason.
Top
I
10
like
Kirk.
talking about
But,
Kirk over Derek Carr.
That's bold. Give me Derek Carr with Devontae Adams.
Give me
all
Derek
day.
Carr right now.
Give me Kirk Cousins with the 3-headed
Justin.
monster. And
He
Thielen
does have
and
Justin
Dalvin
Jefferson,
Cook
but
and Irv Smith.
whatever. We'll discuss this next episode. If you're still here on Twitch, throw us a follow, turn on notifications so you don't miss us when we're live. Throw us a sub on YouTube as well. If you like the audio version, Spotify, Apple Music, and Anchor, we're all over there. And of course, social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever. Follow us there. More content. Search Super Fantasy Bros. You will find us. See you guys on Thursday. Peace.